And so it's my great pleasure to welcome Lois with us here this evening from WEC. And Lois, if you remember to unmute yourself, please introduce yourself to us, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Good evening and thank you. It's a real privilege to be able to share with you tonight. So my name is Lois Bateson. My husband Joseph and I are the directors of WEC Aotearoa, New Zealand, so the New Zealand branch of WEC International. And for those of you that are racking your brains thinking, now what does that stand for? WEC stands for Worldwide Evangelisation for Christ. Formerly it was known as Worldwide Evangelisation Crusade, so some people still know it as that, but that changed back in the 80s. So we are an international organisation. We're interdenominational and intercultural. I think we have members from about 70 nations, and we serve in just over 80 nations around the world. So becoming more and more intercultural day by day. If you can show that first slide, please. In New Zealand, we use the tagline, spreading the gospel where it's thinnest. So that is what we aim to do, is to be working in places where the gospel isn't, where the church is not already established, or if there is a church, it's very small and it's needing a lot of encouragement and building up. We also have branches in nations that are sending nations. And so in those nations, we act as a mobiliser to mobilise the church and encourage the church to send workers out into the fields. So for New Zealand, our main role is to place and support people from Aotearoa, New Zealand, into places where the gospel is little known and the name of Jesus Christ has not been preached. Our aim is to see indigenous Christian communities established amongst all the different ethnic groups of the world. So here in New Zealand, in our base here in Gordonton, we mobilise people for mission. In other words, we're encouraging young people and old to serve as God calls them to and help them prepare for that. We train. So we have a missionary training college here in Gordonton. We only train for missions. So although we teach Bible, we don't train pastors. And we just to encourage churches. We try to encourage churches to be reaching out to migrants that are in New Zealand as well. It's another part of what we do. So this is a map of the different people groups around the world, and the ones in red, those red dots, and they are all dots, even though India looks like it's almost completely coloured in, are individual groups of people. So when we talk about people groups, we're talking about individual ethnic groups. And the ones in red are the ones that are unreached. There is not a viable church amongst them. So you can see that although there are a lot of green, so there are places where there are churches established, there's still a lot of red through Asia, sub-Saharan Africa, and basically dotted all around other parts as well. And so our first prayer point is just that God would encourage and thrust out workers into the harvest field, because the harvest field is ready, and there are still so many places where the gospel has not yet been preached. The second prayer point that we have there is working with the churches here in New Zealand to be intentionally focusing on migrants. And so we have been involved in encouraging other mission agencies here in New Zealand to become part of a collaboration which has now been placed underneath the umbrella organisation, Missions Interlink. It's called MAIN, and the whole point of this collaboration is for us as mission agencies to be helping churches to reach migrants around the nation, ones in your local community. We know that there are a lot of churches who have migrants in their community and they just don't know how to reach out to them. And so we would really want to we want to make those connections with them. And how can we support and encourage them to reach out? We'd love to see more Māori and Pasifika peoples from our nation going out to the nations, not just going to other nearby Pacific islands, but really reaching further and being more involved in world mission. And so we collaborate with churches and other small organisations like Pacific to Nations, which is mobilising Pasifika peoples. We also want to pray for workers that are actually out there on the field, some of them in quite isolated places. Some of them are in teams where they're understaffed. They're trying to run Bible colleges or other types of ministries and they just don't have enough staff. So they need a lot of encouragement. Some of them are working amongst peoples that are really resistant to the gospel. They have had the gospel preached to them many times, but they just have not responded. And for sometimes, some workers, they spend years and years just sharing and sowing the seed, and they need to be encouraged because they're not seeing the fruit from what they've been working, what they've been doing. And then there's always people that are struggling with health issues as well on the field because of the environment in which they're living. And so, yeah, I ask you to pray strength and encouragement for these workers. This is the site here in Gordonton. So the foreground with the brown roofs, that's Eastwest College. It's our missionary training college. And in the background there with the red roofs is the headquarters for WEC in New Zealand. So I'm in one of those buildings with a red roof. We've got a number of staffing needs that we'd ask you to please pray for as well. Our most urgent one is we need someone to manage our kitchen at the college. It's quite a demanding role, doing all the preparation for meals, working with quite a large staff, mostly volunteers, and making sure everybody gets fed. We're needing someone to work in the finance office for our headquarters, and we always have space to pick up other staff as well. The college nearly always is looking for lecturers. We could do with more mobilisers or others to come and serve as well. Somebody in member care. There's a number of different areas that we could do with more staff. So, yeah, could you pray for that too, please?